Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler. I'm just so happy introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Hey, maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos beach. And then there's the El Dorado Restaurant and Beach Club right next door, so you can enjoy that fantastic view with the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we're going over to the spirit world. No, not the dead spooky spirits, but the alcoholic spirit world of mezcals and tequilas and raicillas. We're going to be hearing from Edgar Rivas. Edgar has been on the show many times now. He's usually talking about festivals that he puts on, Festival of Ceviche in Aguachile, or the Taco Fair. He's got the beer festival. But what you may not know is that Edgar is a mezcalero. He's a mezcal sommelier. He does tequila tastings with a company called Vallarta Tequila Tastings. And Edgar is going to give us a real lesson on tequilas and mezcales and the local moonshine here in Puerto Vallarta area. It's known as Raicilla. And, you're going to love Edgar. We have some local Vallarta news as well as some observations and experiences from my last 2-week visit to Puerto Vallarta. Just got back to Los Angeles just a couple of days ago. And you know what? I miss the beach, and I miss Vallarta just so badly. Anyway, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 5th of March, 2024. Yesterday, the 4th of March, the American English Tree held their big yearly fundraiser to help our Mexican friends in Vallarta and in the Banderas Bay area to learn English while, teaching gringos to learn a little Spanish. It was a band bash-up. It was over at La Huerta Barbecue and Sports Bar over in Paso Ancho. So I had Eddie Rodriguez, the founder of the American English Tree. He came up last week to one of my favorite restaurants where I love to eat, and I love to drink margaritas, and I love to record interviews there. So he filled me in on what they had planned. And so even though the event was yesterday, it's come and gone. The event was sold out, by the way, and everybody had a great time dancing for hours to multiple bands. And anyway, let's have Eddie Rodriguez tell us about it, remind us about what the American English Tree is and why it's so important for us to know something about it. Let's go right now to Colonia Emiliano Zapata in the romantic zone of Puerto Vallarta to the corner of Lázaro Cárdenas and Insurgentes. Let's go upstairs above the hubbub and into Restaurant San Lucas, and let's see what's going on at the American English Tree and what went on over at La Huerta Barbecue in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Eddie, thanks for coming on the show again.
Muchas gracias, Barry. Nice to be here.
We are coming up on a very, very important event that's coming up for the American English Tree. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, that is correct. The event is called Changing Lives, and it'll be on Monday, March 4th at La Huerta. And what it is probably the biggest rock and roll event in Puerto Vallarta. where we get some of the best bands and put them together all in one stage. Right now, the bands that are signed up so far is Monaco, The Lovers, The Beast, The Availables, all right? Las Mambas wants to play there as well, and we have 2 guest surprise singers that are going to show up and sing there as well.
Wow, so this is going to be a hell of an event. This is going to be over at La Huerta.
Yeah.
March the 4th, you said?
March 4th from 12 to 6. It's an all-day event. The doors will open at 10:30.
All right, so remind everybody about what it is when they go to this event. Why are they going there? What are they giving to? What's going to happen there?
Okay, what this is a fundraiser. And what we do at American English Tree is we try to help as many people as possible by offering full scholarships to learn English at 100%. All right? So what it is we work with a lot of organizations. We work with orphanages. We work with women's shelters. And what we do is we provide them and give them a fighting chance. Is a lot of people have trouble or have financial burdens paying for education. But if you give them English, you give them a fighting chance. You give them a chance to earn a little more money, especially in Puerto Vallarta, being a tourist town.
Yeah.
Right? And English is very important. So that's what we do. We provide them with English scholarships.
Right. So remember that if you are going to be learning Spanish in Puerto Vallarta, and you're thinking about where you're going to do it and how you're going to do it, one of the best ways to do it is with Eddie, and that is with American English Tree. And Eddie's got his own curriculum. You've written the books, right? You've written everything.
We have our own books, our own method, or everything. We have everything that you need to learn Spanish. And the program that we have, it's actually a very good program. It's a win-win program because for every person that signs up to study Spanish with us, your tuition also sponsors a child to learn English at 100%. So another way of helping the community.
Yeah. So there you go. So this is what you're doing. You're helping the patas heladas. You're helping them out, right? You're helping them learn something that's going to be very, very important to them in the future.
We're making a difference, you know? Yeah. We might not be able to change the world, but you know what? We can change the little part where we live in, and that's what we're doing. We're helping the entire Bay. That's what we're doing. We're making
Excellent.
a difference.
Okay,
we're changing lives.
So y'all are going to be looking in the show notes. You can find all the information for what's coming up, the Changing Lives event, which is up at La Huerta. I'll also have links to take you to American English Tree so that you can sign up for classes. You can take them online too, can't you?
Yes, you can do classes in person in Zona Romantica, Plaza Caracol, and also by Zoom.
Online, right, on Zoom. So, great opportunity for you to learn Spanish. And let me tell you something. If you're living in Puerto Vallarta, or if you're coming to visit Puerto Vallarta, and you don't know any Spanish, well, why not? I mean, it's time, right?
See,
it'll change your life.
Yes. Yeah, and not only will you be learning Spanish, you'll be able to communicate with the community, but you'll be changing lives in the process.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay, I'll have all that in the show notes. Am I missing anything, Eddie? Do you want to add anything else?
That's it. All I want to say is thank you for all the sponsors that are joining this wonderful cause, and thank you for the community that's already buying tickets, We have
you got some left?
I have a few tickets left. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a sellout event every year it is.
There's no doubt.
This is our 5th year doing it, and every year it just keeps growing. And all I can do is say thanks to the community. Thanks to everybody that's supporting this cause.
Yeah, and thanks to the bands, too, because they're all giving their time, aren't they?
Yes, they're phenomenal.
Yeah,
the bands signed up immediately. They want to be part of it.
Of course they did. Of course they did, because it's going to help patas heladas.
That's right. Okay. So we're very excited for the event. So just to remind everybody, March 4th from 12 to 6 at La Huerta.
Excelente. All right. Thank you, Eddie Rodriguez, for everything that you do for the folks here in Puerto Vallarta. Yeah. Thanks for coming on the show again and reintroducing yourself to my listeners. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you. Muchas gracias, Barry. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you.
Thank you, Eddie. Thanks for what you do in paradise, my friend. And it was a great honor to be a co-sponsor to your wonderful event. And by the way, Eddie wanted me to let all of you know that if you'd like to give American English Tree a try, listeners to this show will get a special discount. So let them know that you heard about the American English Tree on the podcast, and you will get your Puerto Vallarta Travel Show discount. How about that? Now, speaking Spanish, as I've been telling you, my wife Debbie has been learning Spanish not by the American English Tree. Maybe she should, but she's using the Duolingo app, And she's like, I don't know, 250 days right into this thing straight. It's amazing. And I highly recommend this app if you're not using Eddie over at the American English Tree, I got to say. But Debbie and I, we were heading into town to help Tom Finley celebrate his 80th birthday. And we were at our dear friend's casa. We were staying with Ray and Debbie over in Pitial. And their home is our home, away from home. When we're in paradise, they're just so generous. And just to let us stay with them. It's just wonderful. Anyway, we're smoking some rope, and we were drinking some incredible passion fruit-infused Raicilla that we had just picked up in El Tuito that day. I'll get back to that trip because, let me tell you what, that was a trip, I'll tell you. I'll leave it at that for now, but we were upstairs. We were sampling some wacky tobacco, and we were mixing that with some beer and sipping some shots of this flavored Raicilla. I know that we are a bad influence. Don't let us party with your kids, okay? Anyway, we decided that it'd be a good time to go ahead and head on down to Bar Frida. So I'm looking at the map here, the Uber map, and Bar Frida is on their map. It's at the old address. So I figured, okay, I'd be smart. I'd input the Pinocchio bar, because Pinocchio is right up the street from Bar Frida. And then I would go ahead and I would call up the Uber driver, who did show up almost immediately. And then we were off to the races. Now, as I was saying, my wife, she's been doing really well with her Spanish lessons. And she's even started to get real brave and actually speak to Mexicans. And we talked with this Uber driver. His name was Adalberto. And we talked about a couple of words that she has learned using the Duolingo app that were kind of sketchy. Like, she's using this word for pen that I have never heard of before. I mean, I always use the word pluma for pen. And she uses this word bolígrafo for pen, which translates to ballpoint pen. The driver laughed at that. He said, no, the word bolígrafo is never used, very rarely used. He says, we use pluma. And then there was another one. For example, the word for waiter or waitress in Spanish for me has always been mesero, for waiter, or mesera for waitress. And can I say that still? Can I? Never mind. Anyway, Debbie says that Duolingo says the term for waiter and waitress is camarero and camarera, which also got a chuckle out of the driver. So there's also another one. Duolingo calls a refrigerator a nevera, which I've always known a refrigerator to be called a refrigerador. And then again, the driver, Alberto, he agreed. He said, yeah, they don't call it a nevera, but he says they don't call it refrigeradores. He says they call it a refri. A refri. So I said, okay, it's a refri. Okay, got it. And he said that words like camarera and camarero and bolígrafo are words that are spoken by the elite, the professors, and so forth. So anyway, we were having a great time. This was all in Spanish, by the way. We were all speaking in Spanish with this Uber driver. And he let us off just right near Pinocchio's. And I got out of the car, and I did not look back. And I should have looked back, because if I had, I would have seen that my phone and the house keys were sitting on the car seat. So we walked on down to Bar Frida, and we found Tom. He was sitting outside talking with a friend. So I said, hey, Tom, happy birthday. And Tom says, my birthday's tomorrow, Barry. So we laughed about that, and we told him that we'll see him tomorrow. And then we took off to get something to eat. It took about 10 minutes to discover my missing things. We walked up Lázaro Cárdenas and then over the bridge into El Coloso, and we went to a place called Quack Burger. Yes, Quack Burger And we were sitting there. We were having ribs and a burger. Good, by the way, very good, reasonable priced. They have ribs and burgers and fries, and they've got chicken wings. I think they got onion rings too. Sodas. I did not see any alcohol, but I'm pretty sure that they'll let you bring in a beer from the corner kiosco, which is just right around the corner from them. Not sure. Don't hold me to that. But anyway, my perfectly seasoned ribs and Debbie's yummy burger were interrupted by my missing phone and my keys. I would have lost my appetite completely had we taken a cab, but we had taken an Uber. So sitting there, I was trying to figure out how I'm going to get in touch with this Uber driver. But anyway, and if you have to leave your keys somewhere in Mexico, inside of an Uber is not the worst place to leave your keys, or your phone, for that matter. At least you got a fighting chance to get it back, especially if you've got a good rapport from this Uber driver. Anyway, short trip into town. We finished our dinner. We sent a message to our friends in PTL. We said, hey, we're on our way home. Would you please be there? Please be there and open the door for us. And they did. Luckily, they were home. So if you're wondering, Barry, how did you get your phone back and your keys back? Well, here's how I did it. I got back to my laptop back in PTL, and I was able to access my emails where I get notified every time I use Uber. And I opened up that email, and I scrolled down to the bottom of it where they have a little tab there. It says report a lost item. So anyway, by the way, I took a screenshot of what that looks like. I left it in the show notes if you want to see what that looks like. Anyway, that report a lost item tab, that takes you through a series of safety features to make sure that you are you. And then they ask you for a phone number that you can talk from. Now, this is where it's handy having my wife or a friend close by to use their phone. Then they call the driver, and then they hook you both up, which to me was wonderful. Anyway, Alberto said that he found the phone right away and that he was looking all over Pinocchio's for us. Of course, we never went to Pinocchio. We actually went to Bar Frida on the wrong night. So this is, and then we walked up to El Coloso. Anyway, Alberto told me that he was on a ride and that he'd come over to Debbie and Ray's with the goods in about 20 minutes, which is what he did. And I was once again reunited with my cell phone and Ray and Debbie's keys. And boy, was I happy. And well, we showered Alberto with pesos and gifts, and we sent him on his way. So we were very, very happy that we had chosen Uber that night. It would have been a big cluster F if we had taken a cab, but I don't know. Too much Raicilla, right? Everything went bad. Anyway, I was thinking about why I left the phone in the car, and yes, I was consuming way too much Raicilla. That is true. We've already come to that conclusion. But I also, what happened was I switched over to blue jeans instead of like cargo shorts. And in my cargo shorts, I have multiple pockets where there's plenty of room for your phone and your money and your keys. And so that got me thinking that it might be a good idea to find a cell phone with a case, with a strap built into the case that might go around your wrist or around your neck or around your belt loop in your pants for when, it's kind of hard to hold it in your pocket. And I Googled it and looked for pictures of it, and sure enough, a bunch of items popped up with little wrist straps and neck straps. So anyway, I ordered a couple of them. I'm going to try them out. I'm going to let you know which one I find to be the best. And we'll try it next time I'm in paradise. Now, the next night we did actually manage to make it back to Frida's, and we were able to wish Tom a happy 80th birthday. And this time it was actually his birthday. Happy birthday, Tom. And speaking of drinking, we were talking about drinking, weren't we? Yes, we do that a lot. We wandered down to El Rio Grande restaurant. We've been there before with the show. It's over on Avenida Mexico, across the street from Lay Supermarket. And we went there with our new friends and listeners, Mitch and Donna Lee from Alaska. You'll actually be hearing about Mitch and Donna Lee in the coming weeks. Mitch was the guy who wrote me about losing his U.S. passport and then having to replace it while he is in Mexico before they head back to Alaska. We're going to have him on the show pretty soon. Anyway, we were visiting with them. They were giving us a little tour of their neighborhood. They live up in Cinco de Diciembre, so we were up over at the Pantheon, checking out the graveyard. Anyway, we thought we'd have a little margarita out there at one of their outdoor tables at Rio Grande. And wow, these were killer margaritas. I have a picture of the bartender mixing up the dangerous concoction. Worth every penny. 2 will get you in trouble. Guaranteed. Be careful. By the way, when we arrived at the airport, I noticed that they have in place 10 biometric gateway machines. They are getting ready to process you with your picture and with your passport. And when we finally got up to the immigration officer at the end of the line, I asked him when they were planning on firing those puppies up. And he said this month, in March. So I asked him what he planned to do when the machines took his place. And he said, rest, descansa. Okay. Well, anyway, I think those machines should definitely make immigration go much quicker than it is right now. That's for sure. I mean, there are going to be 10 lanes. We'll see how they work. Now, next week, I'm going to fill you in on a cool Raicilla distillery that we found in El Tuito. We are actually working on a couple of them, actually, to take you to. But right now, let's go to the subject of tasting and learning about and discovering the magic of Raicilla, tequila, and mezcal, shall we? Now, if you've been listening to this podcast over the last 7+ years, you've heard this guest many times. The first time was in October. I went and looked back. October of 2018, where he talked about one of his first Brewmaster festivals. After one of our last interviews that I did with Edgar, we were doing this interview in Plaza Pityal, and we were talking about the upcoming Ceviche and Aguachile Festival, I believe. And then after the interview, Debbie and I invited Edgar for lunch. We went to one of my favorite hole-in-the-wall places in Pityal. It's called Volver al Taco. I'll put a little link in the show notes. Great little spot. And Edgar was talking about how he was a mezcalero. He's a trained mezcal taster, like a sommelier for tequila, which I found very interesting. I didn't know that he did that, and I didn't know that he was associated with a tequila tasting firm in town called Vallarta Tequila Tastings. So this was a total surprise to me. But thinking back, almost all of Edgar's events that he puts on seem to have alcoholic spirits involved. So actually not so strange and mysterious after all now, is it? Well, knowing Edgar like I do, I knew that bringing him on to teach and talk about these very Mexican spirits, these tequilas and mezcales and raicillas, would be a real treat for you and for me. So, hey, without any further delay, let's go back to that corner of Lázaro Cárdenas and Insurgentes in Zona Romantica to my favorite little recording spot, Restaurant San Lucas. This time, not for their killer margaritas, although we had some afterwards, but to taste and to sample tequila, mezcal, and raicilla. So let's hear from Edgar Rivas, mezcalero with Vallarta Tequila Tastings in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Edgar, thanks for coming on the show again.
Barry, always a pleasure to be here with you. Not even you're having fun in Puerto Vallarta as always. I see you, so always great to be at the show.
It's great to have fun in Puerto Vallarta, and everybody that's listening has fun in Puerto Vallarta because of guys like you. So today we're going to be talking about tequila and mezcal and raicilla. And the last time we spoke, you were talking about the fact that you're now a certified mezcalero. Tell us about that. What's that all about?
Well, actually, a year ago, I got a certification. Actually, it's a academy from Guadalajara City who gives you a certification for mezcalero taster. In Mexico, there's 6 spirits with denomination of origin or appellation of origin, as you know it. So we have tequila, which is the most popular, of course. We have mezcal. Of course, for those who've been here in Puerto Vallarta in the last years, not even now, you ever heard about Raicilla? Now it's coming. Raicilla is very, very popular now. It's from here, from the surrounding areas. Then you also have Bacanora from the state of Sonora.
Okay, now what is that? What is that?
Bacanora.
Bacanora.
Bacanora
with a B
is
or with a V or a B?
With a B.
With a B.
B. With a B. With a B. Bacanora.
Bacanora.
And then you have Sotol from the desert, which is Durango, Chihuahua, Coahuila. But for example, Sotol, you don't use agave. You use a different plant, which it only grows in the desert part of Mexico. Dacilirium, that's the name of the plant. But it's also smoky, it's like the profile of mezcal. And the 6, charanda. Charanda comes from Michoacan, and that will be a Mexican rum. It's made of cane, sugar cane.
Right.
So tequila, mezcal, raicilla, bacanora, made of agaves, sotol, dacilirium, y charanda, sugar cane. So the certification I have is basically I learned how to smell it, how to taste it, each of these different spirits, and it's all about the quality. When you are smelling, or even when you take a sip, when you pass it through your palate, you taste it. Different sensations. So yeah, the purpose of the certification is for you to develop the palate and not even the nose. Then, because we know there's very expensive tequilas,
right,
mezcales, it's coming more popular, the artisanal, the good stuff. People looks for new and artisanal things, but sometimes no, because it has a good and high price, it means it's the best quality, So
no, but does it always mean that? Or?
Exactamente. Never, as I always say, never judge the bottle by the price, the label, or not even the ABV percent, the alcohol, no?
Right.
It can be tricky. Because it looks like it has a higher alcohol content, it means like it's like moonshine. No, it might be the opposite. You really tasted the profile of the agave, many different things. So, once I got the certification, I developed more my palate. I have the knowledge, so I'm totally capable for that part.
So to gather that knowledge and to know it, what do they do? That course it was like an online course, right? So do they send you different tequilas, or do they say?
Exactly.
Oh, they do. So they give you something and they say, hey,
totally.
Right?
It is. You can do it in person or online.
Okay.
So I did it online, and yes, they send you a box full of samples. The 6 different spirits I was telling you.
Yeah.
They send you the worst sotol, the worst mezcal, the worst tequila añejo.
Wait a minute. Now, when they're the worst, when you say worst, are they really bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once you learn what's good and what's bad, they are really bad.
Yeah.
And they send you, of course, the best and some medium quality. So during this course, you learn about the denominations of origin, of course, the geography. That's why we have tequila, mezcal, raicilla. They have different names. Basically, they are cousins. But because they come from a different region of Mexico, they get a specific name. like bourbon, like whiskey, like scotch, like champagne, like Oport, like bourbon, like Rioja wine,
Yeah.
I mean, it's called Rioja because it's come from Rioja, Spain, no? Because your neighbor, his last name is Rioja, no? Edgar Rioja, no? It's like,
And so when it comes from tequila, it's tequila.
it comes from a small town in Jalisco called Tequila.
There you go.
For those who doesn't know, there's a small town, actually 4 hours driving from here now. You need to drive the new highway, expensive highway, but I mean, you're going to get to Tequila in less than 3 hours, I guess.
Really? You can do that?
Now with the new highway, the Vallarta, Guadalajara,
You'll spend a little money doing that, by the way.
Sí.
Because it's not cheap to take that highway.
it's
is
like
it?
3,000 pesos round trip.
Round trip? Yeah.
3,000
All right.
pesos. So, I mean, but you get faster. And see, I mean, Tequila is very close from Vallarta, so whenever you have the chance will be the perfect way for you to understand more about these things we're talking. So, Tequila is basically mezcal de tequila. Why? Because mezcal is basically the translation of roast cook agave. In order to make the alcohol,
Yeah.
the tequila, mezcales, you need to cook, you need to roast the heart of the agave, then you grind it, squeeze it, then you ferment all the sugar, and all the sugar, once it's fermented, then you distill it, and that's when you have mezcales. Okay?
Okay.
So basically, all tequilas are mezcales, but not all mezcales are tequilas
Interesting.
because of the appellation of origin.
Right. Oh, okay. Now, very interesting. Now, when we were taking a cab down to Maito from El Tuito,
Yeah.
the cabbie was pointing out a couple of things. He says, okay, we've got blue agave over here, and then we've got, the regular agave, I see. So there's two different kind of strains growing along the road there down in Maito.
Okay.
So what is that? You've got blue agave, which is...
Blue agave, tequila na Weber. That's the one we use for tequila.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we're talking about the big industry, some of the dark secrets. I mean, the tequila industry is the biggest in Mexico. I mean, tequila is the most popular spirit in the whole world now.
Right.
So the tequila companies are coming to the closest regions to Jalisco, the town of Tequila,
Right.
to grow the agave. So pretty much they are
Sure.
renting the lands to the farmers to grow their agaves, blue agaves.
Okay.
See, I mean, that will be, honestly, it's not legal because this region of Jalisco is not in the denomination of origin for tequila, blue agave.
Right.
But I mean, there's not enough space, there's not enough time to grow the agave, so that's why the tequila industry, it's doing these bad practices, no?
Yeah, exactly right.
So, but no, I mean, if you go to Maito, I mean, the coast area, Cabo Corrientes area, Tuito, of course, Maito, all the surrounding, then you have the local names, agave amarillo, verde, it's a yellow green,
Right.
cenizo, that's a very weird species of agave.
Uh-huh.
Then you have pencudo, it means like long leaves.
Uh-huh.
And there you have in the coast area, you have at least five different species of agave.
Wow.
So Raicilla, the local, the Raicilla you ever try maybe in Jelapa, Animas, Quimixto, the beach area,
Right.
from Puerto Vallarta, that Raicilla comes from those areas, from the coast. So has a different profile. Then you also have Raicilla from the mountains. You might ever heard about La Estancia, San Sebastián del Oeste, Mascota, Talpa, the most popular towns up in the mountains.
Yeah, and when we were up there just recently, it was amazing how many agave fields they have planted. I mean, it's mind-boggling.
But it's blue agave.
It is blue agave.
It is blue agave. That's agave for tequila.
Yeah.
So in the mountains, in Talpa, Mascota, La Estancia, San Sebastián, you found Maximiliana agave. The Raicilla from the mountain is mostly made by I can tell you 90% of the Raicilla from the mountain is made of Maximiliana agave. Has a different profile, not even because it grows in the highlands.
Right.
It gives you more earthiness. It's more earthy, more herbal. Raicilla from the coast, Tuito, Maito, those popular areas, is most citrus. It's mostly citrus, earthy, citrus, and not even a little bit salty because of the air, the fog. I mean, there's different things involved in the flavor. It's just like wine. For those who are wine connoisseurs, or if you've ever been in a wine tasting, it's all about the terroir, the soil. I mean, if you grow the grapes in lowlands, highlands, beside the river, far from water, it's drier. It's more like this. It's more bitter. So mezcal is basically the same. It's all about the soil, the temperature, the altitude, and not even the species of agave, because in Mexico there's more than 400 species of agave growing. More than 400 classified, plus the ones you can find in the wild, because there's also, these 400 species of agave includes the ones are already, classified.
Yeah.
And there's many more are wild species because of the cross-pollination in the mountains.
Yeah.
There's blends of agaves now.
So there is all that stuff happening.
The agave family keeps growing and growing.
Interesting. So the method with which they make, for example, tequila and, for example, as opposed to Raicilla.
Yeah.
Are they different methods?
Okay, recipe. What's the recipe to make agave spirits? Okay, even sotol, the one is made of Dasylirion, a different, it's like artichoke, like more a cactus family.
Yeah.
But the recipe, what's the recipe? Okay, number one, harvest the agave. You don't use the leaves, you only use the heart of the plant. Then you need to cook it, roast it. Once it's roast and juicy, becomes all sweet. All the starches from the agave becomes in molasses.
Okay.
So all the sweetness, you need to squeeze it, grind it, shred it, all the agave. All the juice goes to the fermentation. Fermentations, you can do the fermentation in plastic tanks, concrete tanks, wooden tanks, stainless tanks.
Got it.
And then the distillation, then you make it alcohol. Basically, spirits, mezcal is the separation between water and alcohol. Once you have the fermented juice of the agave, you distill it, and the distillation, that's why agave, tequila, or mezcales are blanco, silver, is because it's pure methanol and ethanol distilled. See? So basically it's the separation between the water and alcohol. During the distillation, you only get the condensation of the methanol and ethanol. That's basically mezcal, tequila.
Interesting.
Methanol and ethanol condensed. Most of the time double distill, sometimes single distill. Others mezcales, they are triple distill. But depending of the distillation, might be copper steel, stainless steel, clay pots, or clay pots and how you call it? A tree trunk.
Oh, okay.
Tree trunk.
Like in a cask or a barrel, right?
Kind of like a barrel made of a different wood.
Okay.
But the same is the distillation, the condensation. The tree trunk and the clay pots is like a Philippine style. That's the ancestral way to do it.
Interesting.
Copper
and that came from
the
Spain
Pacific.
and from the Philippines,
no,
right?
from Asia.
Oh,
If you guys don't know, Puerto Vallarta is right in front of Hawaii. So Philippines, when they start to sail from Asia,
right,
around all the Pacific, because they came to Hawaii, and someone says, "Okay, keep sailing, you're gonna find something else." No, so they came to actually the Pacific coast of Jalisco, no?
Yeah.
Well, what you say with Tewa, Cabo Corrientes area, no?
Right.
Chimo, Yelapa, Animas, Quimixto, all those
So
areas.
that's when the Spanish steamers would come into there, right? So you're talking about they would from the Philippines over to here, yes? So
See, the
similar,
Spaniards, they came through the Atlantic, but of course, when they came to Compostela, or Tintoque, that's how they call this area. Actually, Compostela, close to Tequila, which used to be the capital of Banderas Bay. They used to, Compostela and all this area used to be called Tintoque.
Oh, okay.
See? By the Spaniards.
The restaurant, like the restaurant, Tintoque.
Exactamente. That's why Joel Ornelas, the chef owner from Tintoque, he chose Tintoque because their food is pretty much based on the local ingredients, the gastronomy from the area.
Interesting.
That's why Tintoque.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. Wow.
when the Spaniards came here, they start to explode these areas. Actually, this area, Banderas Bay, not even, well, not, see, Puerto Vallarta, but mostly Nayarit was the main area for the ports, San Blas, etc. But of course, Yelapa and those areas, they were transporting the fruits, the bananas, all the tropical stuff.
Right.
And not even the silver, the gold, and the lead they found in San Sebastián del Oeste and the mountains of Jalisco.
Yes.
That's why San Sebastián del Oeste is very popular, because of the minerals.
Right.
Not because of the Raicilla.
It's so freaking old. It's an old place. It's beautiful too.
It's since the 1500s.
Yeah.
In the 1600s, they founded San Sebastián del Oeste, and it was a very rich, small, very rich town. Was the translation. It was super rich because all the minerals, lots of wealthy Spanish families were living there. Not even Spanish, then more people from Europe start to came to live to San Sebastián. So that was San Sebastián is very popular in the actual time because a minery town.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sorry that we had to go on a little tangent there, but we need to have a little bit of little history with our tequila, right?
See, actually, Raicilla from the mountains, it comes because of the miners. They used to distill the agave juice for the cold, you know.
Uh-huh.
You need to get some balls to get in the mines.
Yeah, no kidding. Warm up a little bit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
All right.
every part of the history, actually.
That's amazing.
The coast
All right.
and the mountain.
So let's talk a little bit about. We've got some bottles in front of us here. Let's talk a little bit. But before we do that,
Yep.
You also work with a tour company that does tasting. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I started 6 years ago. The name of the company is Vallarta Tequila Tastings.
Okay.
It was founded by Ricardo Lopez y Corina Levin. She's Canadian. Unfortunately, Ricardo, he passed away 4 years ago. But I mean, the company is still running. Corina, she's now the owner, the manager. And we have a very nice, beautiful location in Versalles neighborhood. Hamburgo Street, the number is 150. I mean, it's the place where we do the tastings. We do tequila tasting, mezcal tastings, spirits of Mexico, which includes also sotol, bacanora, mezcal, raicilla, tequila, the other spirits we were talking about. We also do food pairings or not even chocolate pairings using all these spirits. Yeah. And I mean, the greatest part is we only use artisanal spirits. See, something you can find in a liquor store. I mean, things, special batches of mezcales, see?
Right.
So, I mean, because of the purpose of the tasting is for you to learn, and not even, I mean, for you to develop the palate, no? What is good stuff against middle quality, lower quality. I mean, that's what we like to share with people, the culture, the knowledge, and not even good spirits for you to taste the good flavors of Mexico.
Very good. So when you're taking this tour, you expect to try different mezcales, different tequilas, and even raicillas, right?
Exactly. Depends on the tasting you choose. We have the tequila connoisseur, 4 different tequilas, mezcalero tasting, 4 different mezcales, spirits of Mexico, two tequilas, 1 raicilla, 1 mezcal, 1 bacanora, 1 sotol. We have also the same tastings with chocolate pairing or food pairing. 4 courses or 6 courses. That's one of a kind. The 6 courses pairing food spirits of Mexico is, I mean, and it's all Mexican food like mole, ceviche, carne asada from the north of Mexico. It's all the Mexican gastronomy. So
lovely. All right.
We bring the chef. The chef is cooking.
Oh my gosh! How you do it all?
See, it's perfectly at the moment. I mean, it's a one of a kind experience. It's something very unique. Not only because of the explanation, the story I'm gonna share with you. It's also because of the spirits and not even the food pairing you're gonna have. It blows your mind. It's something. It's something you must try. So
excellent.
Honestly.
Okay, well, very good. Well, I'm going to have a link to that in the show notes so that if you're looking to have an experience like this, sounds absolutely wonderful. You'll be able to find Edgar and his tequila tasting right there in the show notes. Is there anything that we need else to talk about as far as tequila goes?
Sure. We need to smell it and we need to taste it.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Let's call.
Okay.
Are you ready?
All right. Yeah, I'm ready. But let me ask you something. You just picked up that Raicilla bottle and you shook it.
Yeah.
All right. So why did you do that?
Well, it is a way to check the ABV percent.
The alcoholic
the
level,
alcohol.
huh?
I told you before, never judge the bottle by the ABV percent, the flavors you're expecting.
Yeah.
Well, the exercise goes like this: you take the bottle, you shake it,
Right.
and then you check the bubbles. What's the bubbles, or pearls as they call it?
Right.
The mezcalero masters. The bigger the bubble and the longer it stays, it has a higher alcohol percent.
Ah, interesting.
Small bubbles, small pearls, and disappear immediately. It means a lower ABV percent.
Okay.
See?
You're right.
So this I just pour in your glass. It's Raicilla from the coast, based on the pearls. You don't see very big pearls,
Right.
so it means
It means that it doesn't have a high alcohol level.
See, but now let's try it. So what's
Okay.
the proper way? Proper way to do it is champagne flute.
Okay. Use
So
a champagne
now
flute.
what do we
Okay.
have now is a champagne flute, which number one allows you to swirl the glass a little bit to open it up. That's why any tequila, any mezcal, Raicilla you're about to try, always room temperature.
Really?
Never coming from the
never
fridge.
refrigerated. Seriously.
Why? Because the particles gets contract
Yeah.
with the cold, gets contract. So
Yeah.
room temperature.
We all know about contraction
are
and cold, right?
Expanding.
Uh-huh.
So now you swirl the glass in the champagne flute
Right.
just for a few seconds, put it down your nose and smell slowly. What you need to do is a long inhale, slowly, but it's a long one. So
Okay.
you need to,
Small.
see, in the microphone. Let's see if you...
See.
So it shouldn't burn your nose. It shouldn't burn. This Raicilla we're about to taste is more than 45% alcohol. Once you swirl the glass and you smell it, it doesn't burn your nose. Why? Because they distill it in the proper way. When we're talking about distillation, there's three parts: head, body, and tail. During the distillation, the first liters coming from the stainless, copper, clay pot, or tree trunk stainless is the first liters, the first drops. You never drink that part. It's worse than moonshine.
It's La Punta, right?
Las puntas, exactamente, las puntas. Exacto. So, what's the perfect? The body, the middle part. So now, once you smell it, and it's not burning, then you say, okay, so far it's good. Now, the first is sip and swish. Just like one. You need to do like Listerine. Sip and
Really?
swish. Then you swallow, you taste it with your tongue, like this. Breathe out through your mouth. Yep. And the same. It's not burning. Normally, those cheap tequilas, those, commercial stuff we are used to drink, they normally burn, but in the back of your throat. This Raicilla, more than 45% alcohol, is not burning.
No, it's not.
What's the taste? Smoky, citrusy, tastes like grapefruit peel, orange peel. See?
Yeah.
A little bit salty, earthy.
See.
And it gives you salivation. Instead of dry your mouth, your
Right.
palate gives you salivation. I love it. Because of the sugar of the agave. It's good stuff, eh?
Yeah.
So whenever you have the salivation and it doesn't burn in the back of your throat, it means it's a good one. Where you feel the numbness, just in
Right
your
in
gums.
the gums, yeah.
Just in your gums, you feel the numbness, the punch of the alcohol. I call it the punch of the alcohol. I mean, it's not
Right.
water, it's alcohol, but it's just in your gums.
Right.
When the numbness of the alcohol is just in your gums, it means the same. It's perfectly distilled.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And it is. I mean, it
Then
is amazing.
take another
Exactly
sip.
as you described.
Take another sip without swish.
Okay.
Salud, amigo. Just pass it a little bit through your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you like an oily body. Breathe out. And the same. What is the taste? Good stuff.
Good
It
stuff.
tastes
Yeah.
like
Very smooth.
mezcales. They have only two profiles. It's very easy for you to split it. Citrus profile or herbal profile. Tequila has mostly a citrus profile because of the agave. Raicillas from the coast, citrus profile because of the agave, amarillo, verde, pencudo. Raicilla from the mountain is mostly more mineral, more herbal. Some mezcales from Oaxaca are very herbal, like smoked tobacco, dry, wet grass. I mean, it is the complexity of the agave. That's why citrus or herbal. So it's very easy. Just two,
One or the other, right?
one or the other.
Yeah.
Citrus or herbal. So this one was citrus.
Citrus.
Bitter, citrus, but gives you the salivation and it's a little bit sweet, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's good
Yeah.
raicilla.
So that's a good raicilla.
More than 45 ABV %, but it doesn't burn your gums, your palate.
Right,
I mean,
right. So the ones that, so you basically, you've got to, when you walk up to like one of these raicilla places, for example, I walked into the other day, this gal had, she was making flavored. We'll talk a little bit about flavors, but she was making raicilla with passion fruit.
Okay.
And, you know, it was in a big old garrafon, right?
Yep.
How, when you talk about flavored tequilas, they're either putting some fruit in there, or they're putting in, or they're distilling it in maybe a cask, maybe some sort of wood, right?
Yeah, okay, bueno, we were talking about mezcales triple distill. If you guys know about the distillation, you know, the alcohol, at the third time they distill it in the copper pot or the stainless steel, wherever it is the technique they are using. There's mezcaleros, they put citrus, they like gin, you know.
Yeah.
There's others, the pechuga, the most famous is the pechuga. That's basically a chicken breast or turkey breast.
Wait a minute. Really?
It is a raw chicken breast hanging. That's very artisanal. And don't get me wrong, those are the best of the best.
Really?
Say, no, triple
Chicken
distilled.
breast. They're using meat.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they put a bag of spices and fruits floating in the mezcal.
Right, they're like wrapping it in a cheesecloth, right? Popping it in there, right?
And then they put a chicken breast hanging.
Okay. Raw
chicken breast.
Okay.
So now what's happened? The same. Remember, distillation, all the steam, the spirit coming up, the vapor. What it takes, it takes part of the flavor of the chicken breast plus the spices plus the fruits gives you those are one of the expensive mezcales you can get, and not even in these very local places where they do it. Those are for special days, weddings, quinceañeras. It's not like, every time you distill it, you're losing more and more.
Right. So this is
the highest quality. Lower, small batches, but the highest quality.
Amazing. So, what kind of brand would you see something? What kind of a tequila brand would be flavored and artisanal in that kind of manner? Is there a mark that people could look for?
No, it's not. It's not hard to find those ones, and not even the artisanal. Talking about, because you guys, everybody who's listening to the show, you guys been here for years and years, so you guys know all the, hey, tequila shot for free, Raicilla, you know. Don't get me wrong, that's the way they do their work. Honestly, I've never been there, so I can't tell you if they have good spirits, they don't have it, but, you know, take a champagne flute, swirl the glass, and look for the harshness. Things you shouldn't smell in mezcales, acetone. That's a from a certified mezcalero taster. Guys, take notes, never acetone. Why acetone? Because when you smell acetone in your tequila, mezcal, raicilla, it means there's too much methanol and ethanol. Too much of the puntas, the head.
Right.
So, will give you the head and a very bitter flavor. So never acetone in your mezcal. And other thing, rotten fruit.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Rotten fruit, it means, citrus like orange, rotten orange, grapefruit.
It sat there too long.
It was fermented for too long.
Yes.
Rotten fruit, stinky clothes, those kind of smells. It means they let it ferment for too long. And it happens very often with artisanal raicillas, mezcales, because if you forget about the fermentation and it's past like 3 hours more, and then
oh really? Yeah,
you can mess the whole production. So that's why never acetone. It means too much alcohol, methanol, ethanol, and never rotten fruit, stinky feet, stinky clothes.
Right.
It means too much fermentation.
So smell it.
Always you're gonna smell it. You're gonna smell it immediately.
You want to. So, even the ones you're going to be shooting, right?
Sí,
Smell
you're gonna
them,
smell
right?
it.
Smell them first.
Smell it. Always smell your spirit. Smell it. Take a sip and swish. Feel the numbness of the alcohol. Should be just in your gums. Now, for example, let's try mezcal. Mezcal from Oaxaca. We were sipping Raicilla from the coast. So now let's try mezcal from Oaxaca. See? Let's talk about the smokiness. It's very important. Yeah, you should go with us to Vallarta Tequila Tasting because you're going to learn all the different things involved. Not even. You're going to have the chance like we're having now. Sip the good stuff.
Yeah.
So, mezcal from Oaxaca, the very popular ones, the smoky ones, right?
Right.
Why mezcal gets smoky? Take your glass. Let's do a nice little swirl.
Okay.
You swirl, you swirl, you smell. Smells smoky.
It does.
But this one doesn't smell sweet and citrus like the Raicilla.
No, it doesn't.
This one is more herbal.
Exactly.
Another good way to smell it, dip your pinky finger in the glass, rub your skin like perfume.
Right. Rub it on the other finger.
And smell it. Smoky and herbal, woodsy.
Ah, excellent.
This one is drier, smoky, wet tobacco. See, it's more herbal, different from the Raicilla.
Yes.
I told you it's all about the region, the agave. This one is agave espadín, another type of agave. I mean, 400 different species of agave. They are
Right.
like cousins, but they are different, no? So, what's the smell of this one?
Okay.
Smoky.
That's a nice new cologne I got here.
It is a nice mezcal cologne. Well, this one, the same. Let's take a sip and swish. This one
Okay.
is 45%
Percent alcohol.
alcohol.
Okay.
Salud,
Salud.
Barry. Breathe out through your nose now. And you taste it.
You know what? That's very interesting. You know, until I did that, I didn't have that taste. I couldn't feel it go through.
Exacto.
Interesting.
Breathing out of your nose gives you the retro taste. Retro taste, we call it when you taste it in the back of your throat.
Yeah.
Now, close your mouth, breathe out of your nose, and you taste it. What's the taste? It's warm. I mean, it's warm.
Yeah.
It's at 45 ABV percent, but the same is not burning.
Nope.
It's just a lightly
The
numbness
same.
in
The
your
same
gums.
in the gums, yeah.
It's just in your gums. Gives you a la woodsy, like wet wood. For the taste, I can tell you, they let it ferment in pint, in wooden tanks. The woodsy taste you have in the after retro taste is because of the wood tanks. Then the herbal. This one is not a citrus profile. This one has an herbal profile, right? Are you agree?
Yes, I do. Very much
Raicilla
so.
was citrus, mezcal from Oaxaca,
Yeah.
herbal. Mostly like, what is like tobacco, wet tobacco,
Very
fresh
earthy.
grass,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like hay, fresh hay, right?
Right.
Different from Raicilla. I mean, we're talking about Raicilla from the coast of surrounding Puerto Vallarta, mezcal from Oaxaca, no?
Right.
See?
Yeah. Okay, but now if that mezcal came out of tequila, it would be tequila.
So if this
If
mezcal...
that was made in tequila, that mezcal would be tequila, right?
Okay, number
no?
one, no, because of the agave. In this case,
Okay.
what we're trying is agave espadín.
Okay, so it's not like the blue agave, and that's what you're talking about. That's coming out of.
Exacto. The appellation of origin for tequila
Yeah.
allows you only blue agave tequilana Weber to be used in the production.
Okay.
It should be only blue agave tequilana Weber. But honestly, in the tequila industry, because we were talking about the time,
The harvest
blue
day.
agave, the harvesting blue agave needs at least 6 to 7 years to be
Really?
harvested.
Wow. Yeah.
Trust me, there's companies they don't wait that long. Other companies they don't use only. Maybe I get in trouble, but I mean that's part of the dark secret, no?
Yeah.
I mean, there's other companies they don't use only blue agave tequilana Weber. They blend it with other species of agave. I mean, in order to make the mass production.
Yeah. Right.
Understand, tequila is mass production. There's commercial brands, there's artisanal brands of tequila, and there's also ancestral, no? I mean, ancestral, it means less technology. I mean, handmade.
Right.
artisanal, you have some help. In mass production, I mean, we don't want to talk about the mass production
No,
because
we
there's...
know about mass production of just about anything, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
the most popular brands you guys know is mostly the mass production. So,
Right,
I mean,
right.
you taste it, you smell it. So, whenever you have the chance there, pour your favorite tequila, your favorite mezcal in a champagne flute, give it a few swirls,
Give it a swirl.
smell it along, continuous, like inhale, feel the burning. If you smell the acetone, it's not good.
No bueno.
Rotten fruit, not bueno.
Mhm.
So it should be balanced. It should be balanced and the numbness, no?
Okay.
So, I mean, those are part of the secrets. We were sipping blancos, silver. You guys know it as tequila silver or blanco, no? So why don't we try something añejo?
Oh, it looks a little
Everybody
bit different
loves
color.
añejos.
Now, añejo is not white. It is kind of got a little golden color to it.
They go, actually, you guys call it gold, reposado amber y el añejo gold.
Mm-hmm.
It's very famous. I mean, I bring it because, honestly, American Canadian palate is very... People loves the oak, the woodsy flavor. So what we're going to taste now is an añejo. This one is it's a decent commercial brand. We don't say names, but in this case, I want to give you something with oak barrel. This is a blend. Let's talk about the color. People
Okay, yeah.
thinks, what about the color of
is that?
tequila? Why tequila has a brown color? Well, it's all about oak barrels. It's not, well, we're going to talk about also the shortcuts.
Uh-huh.
Pero bueno, tequila, it should be aged or rest in American oak barrels starting, reposados 3 to 12 months, añejos 12 to 24, extra añejos 24 to 60, or the longer
wow.
you can let it age.
Serio. Okay, so the longer you let it age, it gives it
darker
more
it's gonna get.
flavor. Is that what the deal is?
Exactly.
Doesn't change the alcohol content, or does it?
No, it doesn't change the alcohol content, but it changes the profile.
Yeah.
Why? Because the longer you age the tequila, the richer it's gonna get. When I say richer, it's getting more of the barrel.
Right.
It's just like red wine. Let it age for 5, 6, 8 years. Super woodsy, very spice,
You're right.
tannins. They call it tannins.
Yeah, and so the same idea.
Exactamente. It is basically the same context. Aging gives you tannins, gives you spices, gives you different things. Okay,
All
this
right.
one, let's smell it. This
Okay.
one, interesting. It all starts with American oak barrels. Whiskey, bourbon, oak, American oak. Now, in the actual time, there's different brands using French oak. Coming from Oloroso, Cabernet Sauvignon,
So are these, when you say these oak barrels are coming from there, have they already had something in them, or they're...
Exactly.
Or that's what's happening. Okay, so what kind, is it wine that was in them before?
See, the tequila industry, they mostly use second-hand oak barrels.
Interesting.
American, which is bourbon or whiskey,
Right.
or French oak, they might were used for wine or cognac.
Okay.
So it gives you some of the essence because it's not a virgin barrel.
Right.
And then you add tequila blanco as the raw matter, and then
Mhm.
you let it age 3 months, 12 months, 24 or 60 months, whatever you can
Whatever
handle.
it's going to be, right?
Smell it.
Right.
So then you the same. You swirl the glass, then you smell it. Because of the barrel gives you a little bit spice.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet, but spice. Smells like vanilla. The longer you let
Sure
it
does.
age, the richer it's gonna get. Una añejo. This one smells like vanilla. Smells like dry fruits, like hazelnut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Smells a little like hazelnut, like almonds. And it also gives you like the bitter, sweet smell, like wine, like plums and raisins, like red wine. I mean,
Yeah.
it is the barrel.
It's from the...
Take a sip and swish. Salud.
Sure.
Yeah. You tasted it. You
Yeah,
taste
so
the
you
barrel.
breathe in through the nose.
Super oily.
Yes.
Very oily.
Very.
This is it gets thicker because of the barrel, the resting. What's the aftertaste?
It's very Well, it's got all kinds of flavors in it. It's
Very
like
complex,
everything.
very rich.
complex.
Woodsy.
Very much so.
It is woodsy for sure.
And I'm feeling it in my gums and also on my tongue.
Exactamente. You feel more of the numbness in your gums because of the barrel, like tannins in wine,
Right?
numbness. And the tingling in your tongue, it is the spices. What are you tasting? Mostly pepper, cinnamon, vanilla, caramel. The barrel gives you the caramel, the vanilla, and not even the spices. See?
Yeah. Yes.
What's the aftertaste? Breathe out through your nose. It lingers in the back.
See?
What's the flavor? It lingers. Sweet and
Yes.
woodsy.
Yes.
Yeah. It means it was properly aged.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one of the dark secrets. Okay, take a
Okay.
note.
Yes.
Whenever your people, reposado is the most popular spirit in the whole world. Not even vodka, gin, whiskey, nothing.
Really? Yeah.
Reposado, tequila reposado, the most popular. People love it. Not even American, Canadian palate is the biggest market for the exportation in Mexico, from Mexico to the world.
Yeah.
So when it lingers, it means they let it rest for the proper time. Commercial brands of tequila, they might look dark, they might have the amber, the gold color, yes. They might smell sweet, woodsy, vanilla, but that's why sip and swish, breathe out through your nose, and whenever the flavor it doesn't linger, it's because they put additives.
Uh-huh.
What is additive in
Yeah,
tequila?
what is that?
What is the additive?
Yeah.
Get ready. Additives in tequila. Reposados, añejos y extrañejos. The additives they put is caramel color, of course, to make
Right.
it look
Give it the color,
older.
Right.
Glycerin, because once you swirl the glass, gives you the legs or the tears.
Right. So you're looking at
Also,
legs the same
like wine,
way, right?
the
Like
same way
wine.
like wine. It means about the sugar content, the
Right.
quality of the spirit, and not even the age. The longer you let it age, the thicker it's gonna get. Why? Because the oak barrel, because of the porosity, is absorbing the left of the water. So your tequila, the spirit is getting thicker. A bourbon is very thick. It's heavier.
Yeah.
So this one, if you keep sipping, tasting, it gives you still. It lingers. It still lingers the vanilla at
Yes,
the
it
end.
does.
So another additive they put is, of course, vanilla flavor.
How do they?
Commercial
Okay.
brands, they put
Interesting.
vanilla flavor. Unfortunately, it is allowed. The consulate of tequila allows you to put a small percentage per every liter.
Interesting.
That's the reason why commercial brands exist. Otherwise, will be only artisanal brands. We need to understand the price of tequila. It's rising and rising because of every kilo, every pound of tequila. It is the
It's
economy.
so
It is the
popular.
economy.
It is popular.
It is popular, so the price is rising. There's many things you need to understand. There's people who has a brand of tequila. If you have the money, you can go to the town of tequila, or maybe with a Raicillero master, buy a few liters, and then you do the legal process, the tax process. Then
You put your own
label
mark
it.
on it, right?
See, the
Yeah.
marketing plan, and go ahead. Then
Yeah.
you make your own brand. There's people who grows only the agaves. There's people who sells their spirits. It is a big market, no?
Yeah, it is.
Depends if you want to get involved. Like, okay, I do this. As a certified mezcalero taster, I like to share the knowledge. I know Raicillero Masters. That's the most that I know because of the area, the region. Tequila. Something once you learn, you like to share, no?
Absolutely. You guys, it's a great experience. You all should, if of course, if you're interested in tequila, raicilla, mezcal, you got to take one of these tours here with Edgar. He will, it'll blow your socks off, and you'll learn a whole lot. Let me ask you something.
Yep.
When I go around doing interviews, I've done over 300 interviews, and every once in a while I'll roll into a restaurant or bar, and we'll talk, and after the interview they'll pop out the family brand, right?
See?
Out comes the tequila, and what I found was most of it is just tequila blanco, which has been infused with something, either fruit or some sort of a nut, or I never ran into the chicken, the raw chicken, what I found was it is actually as an individual, you can do it yourself, right? You can just get yourself a glass jar and pour some tequila blanco over some chopped up jalapenos and a couple of
Totally.
pieces of piña and put it in the refrigerator for a week and pull it out, and you've got something pretty amazing.
That will be infused. The explanation for those will be infused.
Yeah.
Because, you might put herbs, you might put some fruits to make some liqueurs, things like that. Yeah, it's also depending. Normally, those liqueurs has a lower alcohol percent, but because of the sugar, you're gonna get
right.
drunk for sure. But I mean, those are different. It still depends what you like. I mean, it's always what you like, no? If you like blanco, then you like mezcales. If you like the oak barrel, then you're gonna like reposados, añejos. It's always up to your palate, no?
Right.
But I mean, those liqueurs with the fruits are also, I mean, it's also good, it's lighter. You're going to have fun for sure.
A little something different, right?
It's different. I mean, not even here. The most common, I think, is the Raicilla with passion fruit.
Yeah.
It's part of the tradition, no? The local spirits, the local things we have. Other regions of Mexico, then you have mezcales with other fruits. It is always infused, no? But see, that part is the infused
Right,
ones.
right. So, where does tequila get its smokiness? Where does it get that kind of smoky flavor? Raicilla too, especially.
Exactly. Well, now you try mezcal, raicilla, tequila. For example, the tequila is not as smoky as the other ones. Why? Because of the way they roast the agaves. There's the ancestral way to do it. It is underground conic ovens, just like barbecue. See?
Yeah.
So, mezcal is from Oaxaca, and the raicillas from Puerto Vallarta, the coast area. They are smoky because they roast the agaves in underground conic ovens for 10 to 15 days.
Okay.
So number one, it is of course the steam inside of the adobe, the barbecue oven, and the temperature. Once you cross the 400 Celsius degrees, then you get smokiness.
Very
More
interesting.
than 400 Celsius, smoky. Less than 400 Celsius, no smoky, which is the example of tequila. Blue agave tequila, however, they cook it in autoclave ovens or brick ovens, but it's above ground. And because they use propane, the temperature is lower than 200 Celsius degrees. That's the reason why tequila is never smoky.
Not smoking.
Like other mezcales, like raicilla, like mezcal. So it's basically the temperature.
Right. It's the making process.
It is the making process. The recipe, remember, harvest. Number two, cooking, roasting, above ground, underground. Then the grinding. It might be tajona, the stone wheel. It might be the ancestral with wood hammers by hand.
Right.
Or the mass production is a shredder machine. Then you have the fermentation, open concrete tanks, plastic tanks, wooden tanks, stainless tanks, even leather. The ancestral,
Really?
Is in leather. Or I was forgetting the other one is the stone bats. It's like a huge molcajete. It's a huge molcajete
Wow.
made of volcanic stone.
Volcanic, yeah.
You fill it with agave juice, the fiber, spring water, and you just let it ferment. It's like a huge molcajete, more than 100 liters molcajete.
Wow.
So the fermentation, it will change the flavor, and the distillation. Copper steel, stainless steel, clay pots, tree trunk, the Philippine style.
Interesting.
Part of the process, part of the recipe, but it will always change the flavor and the result.
Yes. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, everybody, take notes. I know you're all doing that. Make sure that when you come to Vallarta again, and if you are a tequila taster like me, you need to go check out this tour. Edgar, I talk to you all the time. We talk about festivals and stuff like that. What's coming up? Anything new coming up?
What's coming up? La Feria del Taco.
Yeah.
How you translate the taco
Yeah,
fair?
Taco Fair, brother.
The Taco Fair.
Yeah.
Taco Fair, it will be in Eastern. Will be actually Sunday, 31st of March, which is right in the middle of
Coming
the
right
Easter,
up, yeah.
the Mexican holidays. It is the 8th edition. since 2015 we started. I'm very happy. It is the next festival is coming. Lots of tacos, of course. We already have signed up 15 taquerias.
Wow.
Taquerias, restaurantes from the city.
Uh-huh.
So there will be more than 40 different tacos and recipes like steak, fish, vegetarian, different kind of tacos. So that will be at Parque Hidalgo, right in downtown, from 2 p.m. until 11 p.m. So the whole evening.
You're gonna have spirits too, like you normally do.
Part of the festival, it is always to have something good to drink. We're gonna have 3 different bars with mezcal, Raicilla, Tequila, only artisanal brands. Another 3 bars with craft beer. Of course, fresh water, desserts, and the tacos. The main guest of the party. Exactly.
Your last festival, you had the festival de Ceviche en Agua Chile.
And Ceviche Festival.
So who was the winner this year?
The winner of this year, Rústico.
Rústico.
Restaurante Rústico, close to the airport.
Yeah.
They won the festival. It was very good recipe. It was tuna. But talking about tequilas, they put a tequila sauce with agave syrup. Man.
Is that normal? I mean, do they have that on their menu?
No. They came up with the idea. They bring it to the festival. The judges, they qualify. They decide what's the best recipe. And now, of course, the restaurant, now they have it on their menu.
They have it on their menu, good, yes.
So if you're looking for something new in town, something different to try, look for Rústico. That's very, I totally recommend it. As for this ceviche with agave syrup and the tequila sauce, man.
Kill me now. All right, well, make sure
good.
I'll link up Rustico in the show notes if you're up at the airport, you're living in that area, or you just want to go take a little tour up there.
Okay. After the taco on the 31st of March, actually 1 week after, we're having the Grill Kings Festival.
Oh my gosh! Okay, the Grill
Kings Festival. I started in 2019, then because of the all the situation all around the world.
Yeah.
I was not allowed to do it again, but the time, the season in Puerto Vallarta is always changing. But now it is time to do the second edition of the Grill Kings Festival. The same Hidalgo Park. The Park Hidalgo has been working perfectly. It's a perfect location. I guess everybody in Old Town, downtown, it's central. It's the central part of the city. So even for people who's living in Bucerias, in Nayarit, Park Hidalgo is a perfect location.
Sure.
So we're having the Grill Kings. Will be everything.
So what are they grilling? What are they grilling, man?
See, in Vallarta you have lots of
everything, right? Meat, fish,
like ribs, like good picaña, briskets, of course. Pescado embarazado, which is the fish on the
fish on the stick. Embarazado, but it's like the pregnant fish.
They call it pregnant. The fish on stick with adobo, which is the Mexican sauce.
I see.
Chicken, all kind of seafood, steaks.
Oh, bro, I gotta go.
This one will be good. Everybody was expecting for the Grill King, so now I have the chance to do it once again. So it will be Saturday, the 6th of April.
April 6th. Okay, I'll have that in the show notes, you guys. So make sure you hit those if you're in town.
April 6th.
Both of those, yeah. Both of those.
If you stay in town, it's the perfect time of the year. I mean, the weather
Absolutely.
now, it's good.
It's beautiful.
See, so will be the taco, the Grill Kings. Then we have Sabores de Vallarta in the beginning of May. 6th of May, Sabores de Vallarta, Flavors of Vallarta. So combination of everything.
Very good.
Vallarta now it's an international gastronomic destination, so what can you have? You can have seafood, you can have grilled, you can have Italian, Greek food, you can have, all kind of different foods. That will be the purpose of the festival, to bring a little bit of everything.
Sure.
Even for the locals who they might never been in a Greek restaurant, they have the chance to try something in an Italian restaurant, and even for the foreigners to try something very local. Vallarta, we are now, it's a nice blend between the cultures, no?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
As the cultures, the restaurants should get blend in a festival, including everyone.
Right.
Different flavors, all the different kinds. Then we're going in the 6th of June. we're having the first Oysters and Seafood Festival.
Oh, boy. All
We're
right.
going to bring the biggest oysters, like the oyster
from
from
Candy. I'll
Tehuamixtle.
bet you. You're going to come from Candy, aren't you? We were there the other day, and yeah, I've never seen oysters that big.
Oysters as big as, I mean, the
Big as your hand, everybody.
biggest, almost like 1 kilo oyster.
Yeah.
In the last festival, the winner was 1 kilo oyster without the shell, just the meat. Let's say.
Unbelievable.
Almost like a kilo.
Oh, right. So you all want to get your sexual thing going on there, get
Rise the sex appeal,
Yeah,
get
that's
some
right.
oysters.
Get some oysters going on there. Thank you, Debbie. I'll get that
It will
aphrodisiac
totally
on.
help. That's the Mexican culture. I get oysters to you.
There you
It
go,
helps the
that's
sex
right.
appeal.
All right, so oyster festival. So it'll be fried. It'll be on the shell. It'll be Rockefeller. It'll be everything. Right?
Everything. See. What we want to do is like all kind of oysters. We know oysters sometimes. I mean, up to the people. Like I don't like the fresh oyster,
Yeah,
but
it
we
could
might
be a
try
little
like
tricky.
on grill. Man, if you try grilled oysters like butter and garlic, man, it's one
Cereal.
of a kind.
Okay.
I'm a oyster lover. Even if it's fresh or garlic, grilled with garlic and butter.
You're in.
Man, one of a kind. Trust me. So you should attend to the Oyster and Seafood Festival, the 6th of June. 6th of June. Or how you say June 6th?
Yeah, June 6th, yeah.
We're gonna do the advertising, of course, and of course the Ceviche and Aguachile Festival, the last Sunday of July.
Oh wow.
July 28th will be Sunday, July 28th will be the 16th edition of the Ceviche Festival, Ceviche and Aguachile Festival. So
Amazing. Yeah.
pretty busy. Food festivals, one per month. This is what we love to do, to share the culture, the flavors from Vallarta. Everybody who's going to be in town, please join us because, I mean, nothing better than the local flavors, local mezcales, raicillas, everything, even desserts. No, we have, I mean, that's why we always think about the whole thing, like even the bathrooms, desserts,
Yeah.
water, mezcales, music. We always have live music, of course. So depending of the festival, we might have cumbia music, salsa music, house music, disco music, everything. I mean, it's the
Edgar
personality, the festival.
knows how to throw a party. So if you're going to go to a festival anywhere in Puerto Vallarta, it's got to be Edgar doing it, okay? And I tell you that. So as these particular events come up, I'll be reminding you, of course, as they come up during the year. Anything else that we need to talk about, Edgar?
No, I mean, always to thank you, my friend Barry, to invite me to share with people, if it's not about the festivals, everything which happening in Vallarta, the spirit culture, the agave culture, which is also very important. Don't forget, never judge the bottles by the price, the ABV percent, marketing, always try to get a sip and swish, taste it, feel the numbness of the alcohol, the aftertaste. I mean, always give us a call. You have the information. Of course, you're going to post it, all the
Right.
links.
But remind them. Tell them again how they can get a hold of you for the tequila
Please,
tasting.
you can Google in VallartaTequilaTastings.com. Very easy, Vallarta Tequila Tasting. We are in social media, Instagram and Facebook, the same as Vallarta Tequila Tasting. So look for more information, all the different tastings I was telling you. We have a very nice, beautiful place in Versalles. You're going to love it. And, of course, any other information, of course, feel free to ask.
Excelente. Well, Edgar Rivas, a fount of information for those who decided that, they're going to just go ahead and sit at home and taste and try themselves. Good luck. Have yourself a good time. And now you know the methods. You know what exactly to do and how to do it, how to judge a good mezcal, how to judge a good tequila, how to judge a good raicilla. So, Edgar,
We're gonna
thanks
keep
again, brother.
sipping.
I think so. Let's sip away. And
Salud for
thank-
those
thank
who
you,
are
brother.
listening the show. Salud.
Salud.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
Y gracias, amigo. Thank you so much, Edgar. What a ton of useful information, my friends. I have links to the Vallarta tequila tastings in the show notes, as well as pictures showing the fun that they have at these classes and at these meals that they consume. You can have them come and visit your home if you like as well. They can come to a party and make your party even more exciting. It's a real education, and you, Edgar, gave us so much information. And I have to tell you that it's only a tip of the agave plant. It's just, there is so much to learn about these very Mexican spirits, about tequila, about mezcal, and about Raicilla. Thanks again, Edgar. Well, okay, that should do it for this week. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think about something that I should be talking about, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website. Reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else, so do it, really. And when you do take one of these tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget his maps, his DIY tours, and I have a link to all of those in the show notes. Once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and follow. Share with a lover of Puerto Vallarta, or give me a good review wherever or however you happen to be listening. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, hey, you really need to have a look there. I have the links to the places that we talk about, interesting pictures, and more right there in my blog post and in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. Thank you to Eddie Rodriguez from American Learning Tree. Your event was a great one, amigo. Please consider sponsoring a child in paradise and give him or her a leg up by knowing how to communicate in English. You can also take Spanish in person or online via Zoom. That's right, learning Spanish, makes life so much easier in Puerto Vallarta. I mean, just remember the stories that I tell you about talking with the Uber drivers, the taxi drivers. They happen because I'm speaking Spanish and you can too. As I said, learning Spanish will change your life as much as learning English will change the life of a child in Puerto Vallarta. It's as simple as that. So thank you so much also to Edgar Rivas from Vallarta Tequila Tastings. What an education you gave us, my friend. I have the links to Vallarta Tequila Tastings in the show notes. You can find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler, signing off with a wish for you to all slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino, perno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río, cuando todo está en calma, pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta.